Hi, everybody. Amy Broderick here for another Miracles and Wonders interview. And today we're going to talk about all of the tools that support King John Smarty's work, the Holotech tools, the Jedi thread, the Smarty Method, all of those different things that are creating these miracles. And I'm excited to have Linda Anderson with us here today. Linda, say hi.
Hello, glad to be here. Always happy to promote Smarty and his Holotech products.
Absolutely. So, Linda, why don't you just start off? Give them a little bit about your background and maybe where you're from and how you found Smarty.
Okay, well, I'm an old lady and a retired nurse. I live in southeastern Indiana, and I live just with myself and my little dog in my little log cabin. So I have a lot of time on my hands, and I love following Smarty and seeing what he's up to. I check his website about every 2 hours or so. As far as how I found Smarty, actually, to make a short story long, you know how it is when you start thinking in certain patterns and the universe brings you more of that. So I started always having an interest in natural health as a nurse, and I was very disillusioned by the healthcare system. And so I branched out into more of the natural healing. And I also love learning and expanding and learning about truth. And so I think because of those two paths, I was eventually led to the Real Truth Call, which is actually where I found Smarty. I tuned in initially because I liked a character on there, a spiritual being by the name of Fisher. And I followed him all along. And then one day Smarty popped up and was introducing himself. And he just seemed so engaging and endearing, and he was fun loving. And I just had an immediate liking to him, and I resonated highly with him. So I tried to be on the calls whenever I could. They were kind of late at night and sometimes difficult, but I would listen to a lot of the replays. And eventually I got on his early Facebook page, which is now defunct. But that's eventually how I found him. I lost him for a little while. I don't know if I veered off my path or what happened, but I eventually came back around and found Smarty doing his shit talking in the basement. I found him on the calls. I was on the Smarty parties, the Coffee with Jesus, where we would learn about his products and the holograms and so forth. And eventually found him on Telegram as well. So I've been following him ever since very closely. And
so when did that start for you, Linda? Was that 2016 or
probably early? So 2018 maybe.
Yeah, quite a while. So for newbies that are watching this going, what's the deal with the Real Truth Calls? Those were some recorded calls that happened quite a while ago. It was sort of like Smarty's introduction out into the world. And so if you're interested in those, there's still a lot of really great information in there, and there are recordings. So I will link those below this video for you to have a look at those if you'd like to. Smarty does train in there, and then there's you'll see a lot of the holograms being kind of created in real time and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's cool. So you're what do they call it? Experienced Jedi, or I don't know what they.
I've been around a while. I don't know how experienced.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah, and we have a lot of ways that people are finding Smarty. So really awesome to hear your bit. And I met you through one of those Zooms, because as we started getting out in the Zooms, everybody could see pictures of the fellow Jedis that were participating. So that's kind of how you and I made a connection.
I found, it very interesting the one time when Smarty actually introduced himself as who he actually is, and it was like mind blown, you know.
Yeah.
And who cannot follow Jesus? Come on.
Exactly. And how blessed for all of us to have had so much personal connecting time with him. And we know time is coming to an end as so much is getting ready to open up in the world. But it's really it's been beautiful to have that special sort of inner circle going on.
And it was so nice being able to see somebody that actually was a healer after being in the health field so long, and I didn't see anybody really healing, you know. So it was nice to actually see someone healing people and actually changing the world. So he was very inspirational.
Yeah, and being so generous, because most of it is being done at no charge. It's simply a gift. And even today, when I am out working with somebody and they say, well, what do I owe you? And I'm like, it's a gift. And people are thrown because we're so used to like everything's about money, right? It's like everybody's trying to make a buck, and you know, and certainly Smarty has to charge for some of his stuff, but mostly he tries to do as much as he can for humanity at no fee, because he's just trying to heal the world. So
yeah, he always gives little gifts when you put your orders in. He always gives you a little free gift, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, he's been super generous lately too. So well, let's speaking of healing, let's segue into talking a little bit about some of the things that you've experienced using Smarty's tools. So what would you like to share about
Okay, I have a story I'd like to share about the use of my wand, and it's actually not a person that I was healing. It was an animal, a deer in my yard. I live in sort of a wooded neighborhood, and there's a lot of wildlife, and I've got deer and squirrel, all kinds of wildlife, feral cats under my porch. And, you know, it's a pleasure living here and looking out the window and seeing all the Mother Nature and so forth. But anyway, one day I was looking out my front window and I saw a little group of deer, and one was kind of lurking behind, and it had a malady in its front leg. It was like only at a bent like about a 90-degree angle, and its foot wasn't touching the ground, and it was just, ambulation was really tough for it, and it couldn't bend down to eat. It had to just eat from trees, the leaves and bark on the trees and so forth. So immediately I ran and got my wand, and I took a video of it, and I wanded it for maybe 5 minutes before they meandered off again. And I kept asking Daddy, and, you know, was he healed? Did I heal him? I was, you know, so curious. And then about 2 weeks after that, I was looking at my backyard, and I saw a lone deer just all by himself. And he was kind of gimpy walking through the backyard. And I thought, it just hit me, that's my deer. Oh. Daddy, is that my deer? And I got a confirmation. Yes, it was. His foot was on the ground. He was, like I said, a little gimpy, but able to walk. And I mean, I was thrilled. It was just so amazing, such a miracle to me. It was awesome. So, and I did confirm with Daddy that it was the same deer with my pendulum. So I was happy to know that I was able to help it. And I've seen another deer since then that kind of has the same problem. I don't know if it's a problem that deer generally have, because I've seen another one with the same condition. So I haven't been able to wand that one yet to find me, but I'm hoping to.
Well, they seem very receptive to the energy. I mean, I have wanded, not a deer. I think that's super cool what you were able to do with that one. But I've been out in nature, you know, and hit the rabbits and the tortoise. I've done turtles that have been in the water, and goldfish. And I did a thing once at a lake, and they had a bunch of koi. And I just stuck the wand in the water and just started doing this, and all the koi just come to the wand. Yeah. So you can tell that they are drawn to the source energy that's in the wand. So
I posted that video on the website for the testimonials. So it's probably been close to a year ago, but it is on there if you want to see it. I mean, it's heart-wrenching to see how bad off he really was initially.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for it. Maybe I can even add it in on here. That would be cool. That's Anita's thing. I'll see if she can figure it out.
I'll see if I can find a date for you on. I think I still have the video on my phone.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, so love that. Yeah, what
Yeah.
else can you share?
I know from previous interviews, you've asked the others if they have a favorite tool that they like to use. And I was just going to mention that actually one of my favorites is the Smarty method that Smarty has taught us. And there are so many things that you can do with that. I mean, you could replace organs and remove hardware, create, remote view. And one of my favorites is actually the weather modification. I have an example or two of when I've used that. And that was last year. I went to my nephew's wedding on Long Island, and it was outdoors at a winery, and it was just set to be a beautiful day, supposedly. So about an hour or so before the proceedings were going to happen, it started to kind of drizzle rain a little bit. And I thought, I ain't having this. So I did my Smarty command for the weather to dissipate and clear the skies, and it worked within 10 minutes. And it was a beautiful day the rest of the day for the wedding and for the reception. And I was just so grateful. And I did confirm with Daddy that I was the one that was able to stop the rain. And it was just, I was happy to do that for my nephew, although he didn't know I did it.
Yeah.
Some of these things you have to do in stealth mode.
Exactly. So since I like these interviews to be really addressed to the new person, so could you just tell them a little bit more about what Smarty Method is so they understand what?
Okay. Well, I created my ball of light or energy, and then I put out my command to make this rain recede, and I threw the energy ball out there, and I commanded it, and basically that's it. It's totally easy.
Yeah. So and at the end we always say dun dun dun.
Yeah.
So so that's sort of our way of completing that piece or whatever. And so yeah, we're directing the energy towards that, or if it's a person, then we're doing that as well. So when you were describing, if you were going to say someone has a bad heart and they're waiting on a heart transplant or whatever, we could actually pull that old heart out, give it to source, and then we're actually grabbing a brand new heart and putting that in. And some people just do visually. I'm kind of I'm kind of like a little bit with my hands. I don't know. I'm not Italian, but you know.
A friend of mine asked me to help somebody with a heart problem yesterday, and I actually did the Smarty method on them and replaced their heart. And then also another time I used the weather modification was during tornado season here. I had a tornado that was very close, and it was a warning actually, and I was directed to go to the basement. I grabbed my dog and a pillow, and I thought, wait a minute, I think I can maybe fix this. So I again used the Smarty method, and within 10 minutes, the warning was gone. I mean, I could go upstairs and everything was calm again.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Cool, isn't it? Well, you know, Smarty says it all the time, everything is frequency. And so as we create this energy, we can work with it around any kind of object or person or circumstance, and affect it through frequency. So that's where it isn't an impossibility anymore. In fact, we all just have to get conditioned to remembering that way more that we can do than we even imagine. And that's like, oh, I could actually affect this or that. Yep. Or, you know, like I live in a building with 300 people, and I go downstairs when we do these like Saturday brunches, and they like give us this huge buffet of food, you know, and everything. And so I recognize that, you know, just even wearing my Smarty charm or whatever, when I like am buy that food, all the millions of frequencies that are in here are all of a sudden affecting
right
the food. Even if I don't want to go eat, I like just go down and grab a coffee and walk the periphery because I know I'm impacting all of that, you know, or when I go to the pool or the spa here or any of that, you know, we have the chance to influence that, or I'll throw my wand in the, you know, in the pool with me or whatever for a little bit. So
on all the time. I don't go anywhere without my charm.
yeah, we both have the new one on. This is the new vibranium.
Yeah,
You have the big boy one.
I've got the big one. I wanted to try it.
Yeah, I've always done the women's size one, but I'm seeing some of the Jedis going with the big one. Do that next time.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so weather is a really cool way to work with that. So is
take that, Cabal.
yeah, I mean, we're working it in the positive. I've actually just moved the rain over, like, so it's not right on me, so I can go finish my walk and not be drenched, you know, because some of us need the rain. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to play with those little tools, and some of them are their big tools, you know, all the things they do. So yeah, so what do you have anything else there that you wanted to show?
Yeah, I just want to what I call my custom stealth. It's actually one of my bigger wands that I broke in half. And so I use the small tip of it as my stealth wand, and I can stick it in my pocket or in my bra or whatever.
Let me see it, because you're off screen with it. Show us a little, a little more over here. Yeah, okay, cool.
I filed off where it was kind of rough, and now I can stick it in my pocket and carry it everywhere. And the other end of it, since it still works, the other end of it, I put in a planter in a doctor's office. I had taken my girlfriend to a doctor's appointment. She still goes to the doctor, doesn't ever listen to me. But anyway, I put that in the planter at the doctor's office. So now anybody that goes to the doctor's office is getting the frequencies there. So I thought it was kind of cool that I could do that.
That is cool. It's a little sneaky.
Yeah. And I use my crystalline generator quite a bit, although I don't have a printer. So I can use it just by placing it on the person's picture or writing their name out and laying it on their name, which is quite handy since I don't have the printer.
Yeah.
Also, I have my hat. I wear it on bad hair days. And when I'm not wearing, I've got it on my bedpost. So it's very close to my brain, and I'm still getting the frequencies from hanging it on the bedpost. And it's very good at helping with headaches, because I do get sometimes frequent headaches from the energies.
Oh, that's a great idea. I haven't thought of doing that. I just got a ball cap in my mystery box.
Yeah.
And, so for those of, will you show it again? Show the hat so it can be seen, and there you go. So it looks like a typical ball cap. It's got source directives on the front, but this is a reloadable hat. So what that means is that all of the millions of frequencies that are in our charms and in our bracelets, they're also in that hat. So Smarty's making wearable clothing that also encompasses that. He also has things like a comforter, so you can sleep with all the frequencies in your comforter as well. But so the cool thing about that hat then is that you're literally putting millions of frequencies on your head. And I do get headaches. And so that's really, that's a great hack, because I hadn't thought about putting a ball cap on.
Somewhere on one of the websites, the Jedi websites too, that if you wear the glasses and the hat together, that it's very good for healing headaches as well. And that has worked for me also.
Let me see the glasses. Let's model them for us.
Well, I have these and a pair of sunglasses that I keep in my car. And I have noticed that since I've started wearing these and my others, that my night vision when I'm driving is very much improved. So I know.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, because I used to see like halos around lights and really have a difficult time at night driving, but now it's so much better.
Oh, that's good to know. I had LASIK years ago, and I have more glare at night. I actually still have really great vision during the day, but at night, sometimes the lights do bother my eyes. So I'll have to look at that. But the one you just showed, those clear ones, Those are brand new. Those have not been out very long. Smarty also has like transitional sunglasses. He has safety clear ones as well. But these you could like be seen all the time in because they're just clear. So yeah, that's good.
Kind of a favorite. I use my my Helix bracelet to charge my drink, and I'm planning on using this very soon.
Yeah, well, isn't that beautiful?
So I'm at the party.
I love that. And so what some people don't know about these Helix is that they're also future activation for portals. So we're not using them for that right now, but we are, but they will help us activate portals.
And
so
Mark tells us not to wear these at night when we're sleeping, because he's had to, I think, go and get some people before that were wearing it at the time. So
yeah.
Another thing that I use quite often is the rainbow sticker series. And I especially like the water purification, which Smarty actually gifted. And so I can heal the water coming into my home. And I have a hot tub that I put it inside the hot tub. And now I don't have to put all the chemicals in, because I don't want to just sit and soak in chlorine. So it's helped with my hot tub as well, and that was handy. And also I have a pond that I built outside with my girlfriend, and it's got a liner in it and rock around it and a little fountain. And my girlfriend told me I needed to put Clorox in that to recirculate it all the time. And I'm like, mm-mm. So I put another one of the stickers in there for the water purification, and it keeps the water clear in there, so I can have wildlife drink out of it, and it's safe for them, and it's pretty.
Oh,
there's actually a picture of it on the testimonial page for the Company of Heaven on that website. It's under testimonials. It says pond testimony. There's a really pretty picture of it. And my girlfriend that was helping me build it, we were moving all these rocks around, and she was doing the brunt of it. So before it was all over, I had to use the Smarty method to replace her spine and help her pain level from helping me to build that pond.
Oh, wow. Well, that's great. I mean, that's a great tip with that. I've realized I just had a fountain fixed inside my loft here, and it said to use like distilled water, but I haven't been buying distilled water. So the water I've been pouring in is water that has that sticker on it, and also has a pitcher of water in my fridge that has one of these straws in the pitcher. And so far, I am seeing no corrosion, nothing in the fountain. The fountain is staying really clean. So yeah, so lots of applications with that sticker for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I've used of course, the fuel oil sticker. I used it in my car, and it cut down on my gas usage. And I also, in stealth mode again, put a sticker on my daughter's 75-gallon tank in her basement, because they use fuel for heating their home, fuel oil. And so it's really cut down on their usage of the fuel oil, which can be very expensive all winter long with some of the winters we have here in Indiana.
Wow.
But doesn't even know that I did that, but I've heard her mention that, it's been a lot better as far as their payments this winter.
Yeah, and everybody's going up so much with the cost of gas and everything, and electricity. It's great to save anywhere you can. So
exactly.
Yeah, I'm loving the new water bottle. I just got it
purchases
on one of the last sales, and yeah, I'm really enjoying this new. I'm drinking more water, I think, because I have it. I had a straw in a cup before that I was drinking all the time, but I like this guy. This is my new best friend.
Yeah.
This is a reloadable, so those of you that know, it's a water bottle that can do hot or cold. So you could do coffee in here if you want to just have a big old jug of coffee in the morning. But so everything that's in the charm or the straws is also in this water bottle. So yeah, you're getting all those millions of frequencies every time you drink your water. So that's, yeah, it's another way to,
I wanted to mention too, as far as the Smarty charm and all the frequencies that are in there, I used to buy probably $200 worth of supplements every month. And now since I've been wearing the charm, I don't spend any money on supplements. Everything I need in my body. And I don't buy the green drinks, magnesium, anything for inflammation anymore, et cetera, et cetera. It's just saved a lot of money.
oh yeah, for sure. And you know, if I check, a lot of times I'll get, nope, you don't need to buy that. So I appreciate that as well. Inflammation, since you brought that up, I wanted to share, Smarty did a new Holo recently, and I'll do a link to that Holo below here. But I was making up some black Holos for a friend of mine that's in the hospital right now, and a couple of other people I was doing that for that had ailments and stuff. And I always check with my charm before, you know, if I hear give them this Holo or whatever, and I double check that it's what they need. And that inflammation one was coming up on everybody's. So I think it's a really potent, it's like inflammation buster times 1 million or something. So it is a pretty brand new one, which also says that we're a lot more inflamed than we realize.
Yes.
And, so I just thought I'd mention it since you brought that up. That's a good one to be utilizing if you're not already. And obviously, we all have a lot of frequencies if you have the charm. If you don't have the charm, then definitely go out to the website and access what you can Holo wise. Often people ask, can you stack the Holos? Absolutely. You can do plenty of them. The black Holo I just mentioned, that's really kind of an amplified version of the Holos that you can put up to 10 Holos on those. And those Jedis, there's certain Jedis that have the black Holo crystal, which looks very similar to the crystalline healing, and you can use that to link those up. And so that's helping people that don't yet have access to a charm or want a little more beefed up version of the free versions of the Holos. So yeah.
Also wanted to mention this. I did buy this Supreme Weight Loss, and I think Daddy just laughed at me when I bought this. I think it's possible that we can negate our healings sometimes with the way we think or the way we eat. So I'm still waiting on this. I know that it has helped reduce my appetite, and I haven't lost a ton of weight or anything yet, but I'm sure it'll come.
You know, I have the free version of that well, it wasn't free, but it came as a, this was the one before the one you have. So that's the updated one.
Right underneath this one.
Yeah. So this one's the one right before that. So it just kind of outdated itself a little bit. So they updated to one with more frequencies. But I actually seriously noticed appetite change when I started using this. My cravings dropped big time. My belly and inflammation went down. So I'm not measuring or weighing right now, but I can tell my clothes got more comfortable. And so I feel like the inflammation really helped. Whatever's in here helped drop the bloat, the belly bloat or whatever. So yeah, it's, I mean, yeah, I got more I want to do there, but I definitely, and it was subtle at first, but I would say it was like a week or so, and I was like, what is going on with my appetite? I was like going long periods of the day, not even thinking about my next meal. So yeah, this is definitely doing something. So,
and I don't eat as much at a time in one sitting. I mean, my portions have reduced quite a bit, and I find myself drinking a lot more water, so I think that's reducing my appetite as well. But
yeah, it's good. I think that, you know, Smarty, he doesn't put weight loss frequencies in the charms.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Notable because not everybody wants to lose weight, and so the sleep frequencies and the weight loss, those you have to do some sort of paid version typically to get those frequencies. But but everything else is in the free Holos or in the reloadable charms or the other reloadable products. So you can count on those.
And I kind of feel like an additional tool is actually the Jedis themselves. I mean, I've had to use the healing request group several times when I've had injuries. I'm usually not sick per se, but usually with injuries or again, inflammation or something like that, but very useful.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned it, because there are times that Smarty says you need to ask, because you can't always heal yourself.
Right.
Oftentimes we're actually kind of geared as humans to contribute to each other. And so you will hear often that, or you will check it with your charm and say, can I heal myself? And you'll hear no, or you'll get a no on your charm. And then you'll ask, can another Jedi? And you'll get a yes. So definitely take advantage of that and use that to reinforce the work you're doing with yourself and with others, because that's what that thread is really there for. And we have a thread for healing pets and animals. We have a thread for healing ourselves. And we also have a one for missing children. So all of that is on Telegram, and you can take advantage of that. And if you're not on Telegram, you can reach out to me on the Miracles and Wonders channel, either on Instagram or YouTube, and we'll be glad to get that going for you. So anything else in closing, Linda, that you want to make sure people know about?
Not really as far as tools or anything, but I just wanted to mention that I think sometimes we are a little frustrated with family and friends who aren't really there yet with us as far as their beliefs or their trust in these products and in Smarty. So just remember that we're planting seeds, and I think soon will be validated. I recently gave one of my favorite charms to a girlfriend that needed it. And I mean, I read through all the frequencies that it had, explained what all it did. She could wear it 24/7 in the shower. And I mean, I played it up big time. And the next time I was at her house, I mean, she was proudly displaying it on her kitchen cabinet. So it's frustrating sometimes, but hopefully these people will get there.
Yep. I try to really preface that if I'm going to gift something, I need you to put it into use, because, you know, otherwise I want it to go to someone else, because I want it to work. But, you know, there is a 50-foot blast going on in that thing now. So they are still getting some benefit if it's in the.
I thought to myself, well, when she's cooking in the kitchen, at least she's getting it. So
yeah. But yeah, I agree. Everyone's gonna wake up to these tools in their own timing. But if they're watching this, then chances are they are paying attention.
My friend won't be watching this.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing all that you did today, Linda, and lots of different ways that you're getting miracles and wonders using the tools in a lot of different ways. And we just want to give all gratitude to King John Smarty, to Jazzy, to the healing thread, to these tools, to Source, for making all this available to us. And I do really ask that you like, comment, share these videos out. This is really important. Subscribe to the channel, because this helps push these videos out so they get seen more on YouTube. And we'll be back with more very soon. So thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you.